Testing one, two. Oh yeah, I'm back again, y'all. Let's see here. I'm on. Make sure I'm on my platforms here. And let's see here. Just hold up real quick, y'all. Okay. Real quick, I'm just getting the Instagram set up for y'all, and then we'll go ahead and get started here. And let's see here. Let me get this down here. Like Instagram is very different, so when you try to broadcast Instagram, you have to do it a certain way. You can't just do it like the way that I normally do it with everybody else's. So y'all bear with me real quick as I get this together. And then we'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, there we go. All right. So my big head is in the way on Instagram. All right, what's up, y'all? Good evening, y'all. As usually you guys see me on Friday nights, broadcasting live on Hot 316 Radio, WKQ for my radio show. But tonight, what I wanted to do was to also share some information with you guys and something totally different from music. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of y'all, everybody's been on social media world and you're posting up things about politics. And I know that November the 5th is pretty much almost around the corner, so it's almost at the cusp of us getting ready to get into another political world. Um, but a lot of you guys have been posting up where you stand at as far as when it comes to politics. And there's not, for me personally, there's nothing wrong with what you believe in. If you believe in a specific party or a specific candidate, there's nothing wrong with that. I believe that in our country alone, we have been given the right to exercise our democratic process or democracy to be able to vote for whoever we choose to vote for. You're going back to through the many years of elections and going back to when Jim Crow era, where even blacks were not allowed to vote and they were threatened with an inch of their life or even beaten, or in most cases they had to pay what's called a poll tax. And then even looking at how women weren't allowed to vote um, until a certain time frame. And so when we look at today's climate, I want to just give some helpful information to all of you who are watching this right now, that don't ruin your friendships. Don't let politics ruin your friendships with the friends that you do have. And the analogy that I like to use the most is we can always agree to disagree when it comes to sports. My favorite team is the Falcons. I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I support all the HBCUs, but of course, I'm gonna watch everybody. Um, and of course, in my area, we have mostly Cowboy fans. And bless their heart, they don't know what the decision they made, but hey, they're diehard fans. But at the end of the day, we get along. I talk trash. Even my team sucks, but at least I talk trash about theirs. And I always say that they can't win. They don't know what the end of the goal line is. But at the end of our trash talking, we are still friends. And these men are, whether they're deacons or whether they're just close friends, we have relationships when it comes to music or church or work related, but we become friends. But when it comes to politics, boy, some of y'all are so whew, I gotta pray for some of y'all. Some of y'all that are friends on my timeline. Some of y'all are going too die hard for these people who do not give a crap about you. All right. But I will say this: I stay out of the politics realm. And if you're going to decide about who you want to vote for, my best advice is look at their policies. You can Google all their information, go look at their policies, what they have voted for, what they have introduced bills, or whatever they have done. And you can find all the information out. It's right there. It's public record. Anybody who's an elected official they have to declare, they have to display their policies and their history of voting. Now, I'm not talking about voting in elections. I'm talking about voting when it comes to bills and when it comes to resolutions and all kinds of things that they might bring to um, in their districts or whatever the offices they held. So that's the most important thing. Do your research, and for the love of God, for the little 8 pound baby Jesus in his visible manger, please, please, please do your homework and research on these people. Do not allow the media. What is the media? The most effective devil in America. The media. Who are the media? Those news reporters, the news channel stations, the big box ones, the big corporations, to sway you into believing into one side without doing your research on the other. I understand some of y'all have made your decisions on what you want to vote for, but I don't vote. There's many things I don't vote for. I don't vote on race. I don't care. I don't care if you claim to be black. We've seen what happened in the cities of Chicago, New York, and LA. We've seen it what's happened in a lot of the major cities like Detroit. We see a lot of all these black people that have been elected into position of power, only to be taking their own citizens for granted, stealing money, embezzling money. So I don't vote based upon black. That's the worst decision you can ever make is voting a person based upon their race. I encourage you to vote based upon what their policies are. Okay, that's it. Now that I got that out the way, but like I said, just your friendships are mean more than just any politics, any election out there, any elected official. So y'all make sure you what's up, Ronnie Ron? What's up? What's up, y'all? Just make sure you're doing your research and don't worry about, your friends come and go. But don't allow this politics, don't allow your decision. If somebody decides they want to vote for um Trump and somebody wants to vote for Harris, doesn't mean that that gives you the right to treat them like trash because or you think that they're homophobic or you think that they're leftist or far right, racist. It's not that. All right. So that's all I got to say about that stuff right there. Let me see. I think my stuff is jumpy a little bit because I think I'm trying to. Let me do this. Let me stop the recording here. Okay. So let's move a little bit further into some of the other information I want to share tonight with you guys. Um, some of the other helpful information I want to help you guys on is don't wait to the last minute to register to vote. If you haven't registered to vote, I'm gonna give you a website where you can go to that covers all 50 states. So that way you can go there, you can click on your state, find out all your information about your state, your election laws, and everything like that. So the website you can go to, and I'm gonna put it up in here in the link, is vote.gov. That's right, it's vote.gov. This site alone will help you guys out when it comes to finding out your state information. You can go there as a national registry. There are several other websites, but to me, to be honest with you, the best websites are websites that have a .gov in them because they are registered and they are registered through the government, the federal government. Any website that has a .org, a .com, a .net are not trusted websites. So I would any website that involves you looking for your information for registering to vote or looking for your voter information, always go to a site that has a .gov on it. Okay, but go to vote.gov is the main site you need to go to. This covers all 50 states. You can drop down and find out all your information about. You can check your voter registration information. You can check your polling place. You can check if you want to whatever your state regulations are. If you got a request and I guess a ballot by mail, whatever. But I'm gonna talk about where I live at in South Carolina. Okay, so a lot of this information is gonna be on South Carolina. But like I said, for those who live in other states, go to vote.gov and you can find out all your information there and look up your state. For those who are South Carolina residents, let me give you some information to help you guys out. There's a lot of misinformation out there. People are sharing a lot of wrong information about when it comes to registering to vote. There's a lot of third party hearsay, and even sometimes the parties and regulations and fraternities and sororities give out the wrong information. So let me give you the information about South Carolina first. First and foremost, if you want to register to vote in South Carolina, there are several ways you can do that. You can go to your local voter registration office in your county that you reside in. There's 46 counties. So out of all the 46 counties, there's a voter registration office location. But if you don't know where your office is located at, you can go to SC, that's scvotes.gov. That's scvotes.gov is the main website you can go to for South Carolina. Okay, I'm gonna post this right here inside of for those who are on Facebook, you can watch me on Facebook and I'm gonna post it up there. This is the main site that covers everything involving South Carolina, okay, for elections and voter registration. There is no other third party. If you go into any other third party site that doesn't direct you to SC Votes, it's the wrong site. So I've strongly encouraged you to refrain from going to third party sites like these political party sites or organizations like fraternity sororities or anything that doesn't direct you to scvotes.gov. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Got a little cold here. Um, let's go into the next information. For anybody who says the election is going to be on November the 5th. For South Carolina only, for South Carolina residents only. If you're a South Carolina resident, the last day there are three registration dates to register to vote. The deadline to register to vote online through SC Votes or by fax or email. Can you do fax or email? Yeah, fax or email is Sunday, October the 6th. That's Sunday, October the 6th is the deadline to register by online, fax, or by email. The last day to register to vote in person, that means physically in person at a voter registration office, is October the 4th. And the final deadline, the last day to fully register to vote by mail, which means you put your application by mail, has to be postmarked, must be postmarked by October the 7th. That's Monday, October the 7th. So they have three registration dates. So once again, by online, fax, or email on SC Votes is October the 6th. It has to be done by October the 6th by close of business. The deadline to register to vote in person is at a voter registration office in any one of the 46 counties is by Friday, October the 4th. And the final deadline to register by mail, it has to be postmarked and put in the mail and sent there by October the 7th. Failure to do so would mean that you are disqualified from voting in the current November the 5th general election. So make sure you get that information out to all your friends and family, anybody else. Now, another question: early voting. South Carolina has early voting, and they do early voting for 2 weeks. So the dates for the early voting and the hours that they will be doing early voting for the November 5th general election will start on Monday, October 21st, through Saturday. So the first week between Monday through Saturday, October 21st, and the last day that for early voting will be November the 2nd is the last day for early voting. That's the Friday. No, that's the Saturday before the election. And the hours will be for early voting will be 8:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. That's 8:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. So you have ample amount of time to do early voting. And I encourage a lot of people to do early voting because it does eliminate the long lines that you have at your polling locations. Okay. And then on election day, if you don't want to vote early voting, election day polls will open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on election day in South Carolina. Um, Some of the and also you can do absentee by mail. So those who want to do absentee by mail, you can request through phone, and you can request by mail, and you can request in person. Those are the only three methods you can request an absentee ballot. So if you want an absentee ballot, it's a two-step process. First process is that you will have to request an application to be sent to yourself. You can request your spouse. You can request a immediate family member. You can't request like cousins and aunties, and no, you got to request an immediate family member, like son, daughter. Once you request the absentee application, you will fill it out and you will mail it, or you can bring it back in person to the voter registration office, deliver it in hand in person. They'll record it, and then when the ballots are ready to be mailed, they'll mail out the ballots. Okay. The biggest question many people get asked is that when will ballots be mailed? Well, ballots will be mailed in October. That's the only answer they can give you, because it depends on many factors when they're doing their testing and stuff like that. So when the county's ready, they do have a certain time frame that they'll get the ballots out. But just be prepared in October. Not at the end of October, but usually in the early stages of October. So usually probably by the first or second week in October, ballots will start being mailed out. This is why it's important for you, if you want to request your ballot by mail, do it early, do it now, so that way you can be in that first batch. Okay. Keep in mind that the postal service may be a lot slow. So this is why, I do recommend that you guys would do absent early voting, because it will eliminate you from waiting in the postal service to get your ballot. Okay. Um, Now let's dispel some of the myths. What are some things that will happen on your ballot for November? Well, there is what's called straight party on your ballot. Many of the myths that we've heard, that many people have spread around over the years when it comes to elections and stuff, what I've heard is that if you select a certain straight party, that if you select that party name, it will choose the opposite. So, and I've heard if you choose Republican, it'll go to Democrat. If you choose Democrat, it'll go to Republican. Listen, to give you some heads up, if you're out there voting on the election equipment for South Carolina, excuse me, and you notice that your selection changes immediately, please notify the poll clerk, poll manager that's at the polling location. Do not go through voting the whole ballot. Don't try to make a scene. Just let them know. Chances are there might be some discrepancy, and they can rectify it right then and there. They'll put you on another voting machine to make sure that the integrity is there. So don't spread rumors. Just if you notice something, report it right away. Do not wait till you cast your ballot and then you go back home and then you get on social media and start saying that they're disenfranchising you from voting, because you've already cast your ballot. So if you know something is wrong, report it right away. That's like going and all of a sudden you see somebody is getting robbed at a store. Are you going to sit there and go right back home and wait 2 or 3 days later and call the police and say, "Hey, I saw somebody getting robbed," when it already happened? Or you seeing somebody's vehicle's on fire. "Hey, I saw the vehicle on fire, but I'm waiting 2 days to call the fire department to tell them to put it out." All right. So do your diligence. Other rumor mills that we got out there is that um, they are looking to sabotage your votes if you're a Democrat, or they're sabotaging your votes if you're a Republican. Please stop with the misinformation. That's why you can't trust the media. The media is the most effective devil in America. Be careful what you watching and who your news source is. Now, some of you might say, "I don't watch the news. I don't watch," what you do watch it online. So be careful who's posting the information that you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. There's a lot of misinformation out there. All right. So, what are some other information you can learn from scvotes.gov? Well, on scvotes.gov, you can actually see when candidates have filed. Keep in mind that August the 15th is the last day for candidates to file. So they have until noon. So this is where you start seeing a lot of action at a lot of the election offices on that day, from 8 to about noon. You're going to start seeing a lot of people coming in trying to file for their offices they're running for, and after that, everything will be locked in, and you'll see all the candidates who are eligible for the upcoming elections. All right. One of the biggest myths out there when it comes to the presidential race here in South Carolina, there is no write-in for the president. So don't come up in there and thinking that you're going to see a write-in spot for the president of the United States in the state of South Carolina. It does not exist. The laws don't govern that. But what you will see is that there are more choices for the president and vice president compared to what you're seeing in the news. Contrary to belief, everybody only thinks that there is the Republican and Democratic presidential nominees, but there will be other parties on the ballot. So keep in mind there'll be other parties on there. It won't just be two parties. It will be almost up to sometimes in some cases it could be up to seven parties going for the presidency on the ballot for South Carolina. And other states are different. Excuse me. And any other information that you want to look for is on sevotes.gov. Okay. So that's it right there, y'all. I don't want to take up y'all time tonight, just to kind of give you some information so you won't be misinformed. All right. God bless you, y'all. Stay safe. All right. Peace.